It is Russ. Yeah, I'm back on the road again. What am I riding today? Here, let's take a look at this one. You recognize what this is? Maybe not. I haven't ridden this one that much. This is the Magicycle CT1 commuter bike. Yeah, CT1. I better stop here. Too many cars and stuff going on here. Okay, now that guy is waiting to see if I was going to go forward or not. But we didn't, so he had to go. They tend to wait. They don't want to be the guy that hits the bike. So anyway, I decided to take this one out. I did not charge it up. Sitting at 70%, it's dropping. My battery power is dropping on this bike. I don't know why. I don't think this bike ever charged up past 85%. I don't understand why that is. Is it the display screen? Is it the battery? I have no idea. Yeah, it's kind of stuck at like 84% as the highest, 84, 85. But it's continually dropping. I don't know whether I will actually run out of power or not. Because now it's down to 67%. But is it truly? I mean, I haven't ridden it that far yet. It shouldn't be dropped that far. Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out today whether the battery is not holding the charge or whether it's the display screen or what. The only problem with this is that if I actually run out, then I'm going to be riding this bike without any battery power. So I think what I'm going to just do is I'm just going to ride around the neighborhoods. So if I have to ride back, it'll only be a mile or so. Mile or two, something like that, you know, depending on where I am. Can't go too far because of that. You know, sometimes you got to test bikes out. You got to test things out to find out what's the thing, what's going on with it, you know. So anyways, the CT1, I think, is actually Magicycle's second commuter style bike. The first commuter bike that they had was called Magicycle Commuter Bike. Yeah, that was a belt drive bike. And, yeah, you know, it looked more like a traditional bike. Yeah. And that was a pretty good bike. I actually liked that one quite a bit because it was light in weight, and like I said, it's more of a traditional looking bike. They've since replaced it with this one, I think, the CT1. But I haven't had a chance to ride the CT1 much at all. I got it, you know, later in the year last year. Probably only rode it 2, maybe 3 times at most. And then it sat in the corner of the house for the entire time. So I figured, well, let's take it out. Let's see what happens. I need to find out if the display screen is off or whether the battery just has no power to it. Because obviously, if we don't know, can't take it too far. Because right now, see, it says it's 60%, but there's 4 bars on the battery meter. So who knows? All right, let's go in here. We're going to swing back around. Swing back around. I've used this before as a turnaround point here. What's this thing? Oh, there's a bank. PNC Bank. Well, it's more like a U-turn for me. U-turn bank. All right, anyone coming this way? Nobody's coming this way, so we're gonna cross. I've been throttling most of this now because I really want to find out what's the deal with the battery. Fastest way to find that out is to make the battery work. Fastest way to make the battery work is to throttle it, right? Yeah. Well, right now it says 62%. Didn't it say 60% a while ago? I think it's the display screen. Now it's going up. It's going to 63%. How's that happening? All right. What I should have done is I should have reset the trip meter. Then I would know how much mileage I've got. All right. Well, right now it says 15.4. We had to have ridden at least 2 miles, something like that, at this point. So let's say 13.4. Okay, we'll say about there. We'll see where it goes. We'll just kind of ride around for a while. We'll keep it throttling. So we're doing 18, 19 miles per hour according to the speedometer here. Did we ever unlock this thing? I don't know. Let me see if it goes faster. Oh yeah. Well, 21.3, 21.7. We're running into a stop sign here. I can't go further. Let's go up a little bit here. That's a 4-way stop, so I can go. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I unlocked this or not. It's been so long since I've taken this bike out, I don't remember the specifics of the bike. This is the problem when you haven't taken a bike out more than once or twice, and it's been, what, a good 6 months? More than 6 months, actually. So I don't remember. There's too many bikes to remember everything. I don't remember. Well, it's showing 63%. 4 bars at 63%. Something's not right. I have a gut feeling it's not the battery. I have a gut feeling it's the display screen or something within the electronics that's telling it that it's 60-something% when maybe it really isn't. Well, anyways, it is what it is, like they say. Other than that, it rides really nice. Feels good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look up the specifics, put some graphics up for you, let you know what these things run. All right, we got a bunch of people and traffic going on here. This is by the park, so people are out playing basketball or something out here. All right, let's turn here. Yeah, it's later than I normally go, so you can see that the sun is coming through. Now, last time we've done stuff like this, we had that green line across. Remember that? Because of the clear filter on the lens. Well, I don't have the clear filter on the lens at this point. So we'll see if that affects us. I don't think it will. If it does, it'll be very minimal, but it shouldn't have a really long green line or the little trumpet-looking thing. But we'll know later. Yeah, so multi-purpose. I do have the front headlight on. I mean, it's not really dark, but it's obviously it's like closer to 7 o'clock time period now. And in case you see this video in the future, way in the future, this is June, early June that we're doing this. I think by the time this video comes out, it'll be a week or two by the time you see it. Because I have other videos kind of ahead of it. We do have some of the haze going on from the Canadian fires coming down here. The air quality was considered fairly poor. I can smell it, but it's not as bad as it was last year. Last year we could really smell it. It was really bad last year when they had the fires then. But not so right now, but it is hazy. All right, now we're down to 3 bars. 3 bars, and it says 59%. Yeah, well, we just kind of keep going, see what happens. Sometimes you got to test things out, right? Now, I would get more battery life if I was pedaling, but at this point, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in finding out, you know, what happens if I take this bike out and I throttle the thing? How much can I rely on it for battery, right? You should really kind of do that on your bikes. I don't seem to do that much anymore. I did when I first started doing reviews. I would do a range test. I stopped doing range tests. I don't know if anyone still does range tests from other YouTubers. Let me know if you know if the others still do. Some of them I'm sure do it. But I find it to be so, let's back up to 4 bars. And now it says 60%, but I find it to be so iffy because you just don't know, because terrain, rider weight, you know, pedaling, not pedaling, using heavy amount of pedal assist. Yeah, see, now we're back up to 4 bars at 61%. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think it is? I think the battery's fine. I think it's the display screen or something in the controller that controls the display screen or something. I think it's that's not registering properly. I've asked Magicycle before, but they never gave me a good answer for it. I've asked them for another battery and they never gave me one. So I don't know what to think. Yeah, I think this is the one bike that I've had that they haven't really been too responsive with me about it. And typically in the past, they've always, you know, taken care of any issues I've had immediately, but not on this bike. Maybe they know something that we don't know. Don't want to start any rumors, okay? But I don't know. I don't know what to think, right? Yeah, I'm sure they won't like a video like this, but you know, I got to tell you what it is. You know, that's the thing. Is if I run into situations like this, I got to let you know. So during the original review of the bike, it was actually pretty good. Yeah, never had an issue. But on the second and third rides, I started noticing, hey, what's up with this battery? Why am I not getting the battery? You know, it's between 3 and 4 bars. It kind of goes back and forth. It could be that, you know, when it's under load, when you're throttling harder, it's reacting to that, because any meter is going to react differently under load. But I've been trying to keep the throttle pretty consistent, you know, not over pushing it or anything like that. I mean, according to this, we're doing 21 miles an hour. I don't know if we are or we aren't. You know, there's no way for me to gauge that. So you have to kind of take the word of the speedometer. I guess you could use a GPS app to find out what the app tells you that you're doing. But I don't have a cell phone mount on here right now. I have the cell phone in my pocket, which personally I don't like doing. I don't like having a cell phone in my front pocket because it feels funny when you're pedaling and things. But whatever. So it says 18 miles. What did we say we started this at? 12.4 because we gave it 2 miles before we started looking at the trip meter. See, this is the trip meter from originally when we first got the bike. So I've only ridden this bike 18 miles, you know, which is actually very little. I'll let this guy go first. I'm not gonna go. Well, let the lady go. I always say the guy, but hey, you don't know what it is in there. It could be a guy, it could be a girl, could be a woman, could be a man, who knows? Yeah, back to 4 bars. 59%, 60%. Yeah, see, I don't think it's accurate. I think this display screen battery part is inaccurate. Why is that? Why is that, Magicycle? Let me know. They have never let me know. Should go back and ask them again. Keep hounding them until they tell me, right? All right, let's take a right. Keep hounding them until they tell you. All right. Well, we haven't taken too many Magicycle bikes out this year. Of course, you know, it's technically still the beginning of the year for me, even though it is already June, because, you know, we don't ride in bad weather. And the weather has been so up and down this whole year that I haven't had that many rides this year at all. And here it is already June. That's nuts. Craziness. But that's Chicago, I guess. Of course, in other parts of the country, people have reported back to me, and they said that they've had issues with weather this year too. What's the deal? Global warming? Anything that goes bad, I always blame global warming now. Do you do that? Let me know. Put a comment. I don't know what to blame it on. So, you know, since that's the thing we've all been blaming it on in so long, I just always say global warming. I have no idea. Well, 18.7 miles. So what have we done now? About 6 miles, something like that. Roughly 6 miles. Still says 58. Yeah, I think what it is, I don't think it tops it out. I think that's what the issue is. And then the meter bops back and forth between 3 and 4 out of 5 bars. It's on 3 bars now. It's 59%. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever done some type of range test. If you do a range test on your own, that's a more valid test because it's in your terrain. It's how you ride, you know. You need to know that kind of data if you plan to, let's take a left here. You need to know that kind of data if you plan to go some distance. That's kind of necessary data for you. I paid a lot of attention to that when I was taking my original Rad Rover 5 bike out, when I took it all the way to the Botanic Gardens from here. It's like I'm not going to say around a 64-mile round trip ride. I had 2 unit pack power 20 amp hour batteries with me at the time. And I calculated it out, how much range I would get out of each of those batteries. And I was able to do that ride. By the time I got back though, you know, I'm down to fumes, as they say. Yeah, it was like hardly any battery left, but I made it. I made it there and back. And then I think the most recent Botanic Garden ride that I did last year, I think it was last year. Yeah, it was last year, I think, where it rained on me. I took 3 batteries with me, 3 20 amp hour batteries. I had the Magicycle Deer 26-inch step over bike, the green one. So why did I need 3? Well, I throttled quite a bit, okay? And I knew I was going to because it's a long ride. And so I throttled quite a bit, and that's a heavier bike. It has a motor that has more wattage, so which means it's going to use up more power. See, the Rad topped out at 750 watts, I believe. Because a lot of people felt that the Rad Rover 5 may actually be a 500 watt motor that peaks at 750, and then they just claimed it at 750. That's what the rumor was for many years. Rad denies that rumor, but it could very well be, you know. It could very well be. So if that's the case, it's not eating up as much battery power if you're running a bike that only maxes out at 750 compared to maybe another bike that peaks out higher, right? So when you were looking at the magicycle Deer 26-inch, that thing peaks out a lot higher. So I figured, well, it's going to eat up more of my battery. You know, it's more powerful, but it's going to eat up more of your battery. And sure enough, it did. So I needed 3 batteries to make that 60-something mile ride. When you look at batteries and you look at bikes like this, okay, you go, okay, it's not as powerful. It's a commuter-style bike. Sometimes that's not a bad thing. I'm telling you, sometimes it's not a bad thing to have a less powerful bike. Unless you're trying to go fast and you're trying to have quick acceleration all the time and all that stuff. But you know, if you're doing a ride like that, you're really not that interested in those factors. You're more interested in getting there and getting back, right? So sometimes a less powerful bike is not a bad choice. Yeah. Now recently I had a friend of mine, I was just talking to him actually today. He said he and his wife would actually one day like to try an e-bike, see if they like it. I may let them try this one. Yeah, because a couple reasons. This would be the first time they've ever ridden an e-bike. I know my friend, he rode the bike to drive last year, and he really liked it. He took a regular bike, he didn't take an e-bike. So I know he knows how to ride a bike. That's 30 miles for a bike to drive. This one, he's thinking of maybe he and his wife might come to test out a bike. So I don't know how often she rides a bike or has ridden a bike. So maybe a more traditional bike would be more suitable for her. You know, usually when someone says they want to try a bike, I want to try them out on a 20-inch wheel bike, but I don't have a whole lot of 20-inch wheel bikes in the house right now. I only have, I think, the Ocelot Pro 2.0. I think all the other bikes are either 26 by 4-inch fat tire bikes or 27.5 by 2.2, 2.4-inch wheel bikes like this one. You know, it's so it's a bigger wheel, but then again, if you've ridden bikes before in the past, they probably were bigger wheels. I mean, if you had a non-electric e-bike, chances are they were larger, right? I don't know what the size wheels those bikes typically had or have, or even like a standard mountain bike. What is the wheel size on those things? I don't know. Are they 26s? I have no idea. I mean, I actually gave away my my giant mountain bike. I donated it to a family in need at church. Although it's an older bike, it's probably, I don't even know how old that thing was, 20-something years old. It looked brand new because it was really never ridden. It was just sitting around all the time. So I don't remember what the tire size on that was. Is that 24, 26? I don't know. But I'll tell you this, that bike felt so light compared to all of the e-bikes. It's true. But I also remember when I bought that bike, I thought it was heavy because many of the road bikes were in the 20-something pound categories, right? I remember, you know, depending on how good your road bike was, you know, you'd be low 20s even, and even my really bad road bikes were, you know, just upper 20s. You know, mountain bikes are heavier than that, so I think typically low 30s maybe, something like that, I'm guessing. Let me know in the comments if you know what a typical mountain bike would weigh today, okay? Well, this one was like 20-something years ago, maybe older than that even. But now, when we look at our current bikes now, most of the bikes on e-bikes are probably going to be between 60 to 80 pounds, right? I don't know what this one is. I'll have to put some graphics up to find out what the weight of this bike is. But it's lighter than most of the other e-bikes that we have. I have some that are lighter than this. Yeah. I just got one in recently that I did a review for, which will be coming out. Probably will coming out before this video comes out. That bike I think is what is that thing, 58 or 59 pounds with the battery, 48 pounds or something without the battery. Still heavy, right? But it's still lighter than many of the other bikes out there. You know, if you're a person who lives on like the second floor of a building and you gotta walk your bike up the stairs, you don't want a heavy bike. You want a lighter type bike. All right, here's where we're at right now, just to let you know, as I've been riding around in circles here. We're at 52%, 3 bars. It says 21.3 miles. So what we say we were at 12.4, what does that bring us to? So if it was 10 miles, it would be 22.4. So we're at 9 miles. 9 miles down to 3 bars. Things started out saying it was like 85, 84. Now it says 51. Yeah, I think it's a display screen or something in it that's not giving us a true reading on the battery. So, which basically means if you want to know how far you can make it with this bike, you got to do a test to find out what the actual mileage is you're going to get on the bike with the battery. Yeah, I don't have that time tonight, unfortunately. It's going to get darker and darker, and I don't want to be too far out, you know, to do that. But I just wanted to take the bike out to see how does this thing react. Yeah, well, it's basically telling me there's some issue. There's some issue with this bike for the display screen or the metering or something. I don't think it's the battery. I think the battery still has the power that it needs. I just don't think it's reading it right. I'll have to confirm it again another day when I have time to actually just do it the whole day. Just go around in circles. That's how I used to do the mileage tests in the past. I would go to the forest preserve, eat up the battery for a certain amount, then I would come back and ride the streets until I was down to maybe 8 or 9% on the battery and call it a day. And but you know, when you're down that low, you want to be closer to home because you don't want to be pushing that bike home, all right? Especially if it's a heavy bike. This one, could you ride it without the battery? Possibly. Here, let me turn the pedal assist down to 0. Let me just pedal it. So this is with 0 help right now. So immediately I can feel the weight of the bike has kicked in. I'm gonna have to lower the gears here. Otherwise it's too hard to pedal. Let's move down here. Maybe this gear here. Where are we at? Yeah, I'm doing like 9 miles an hour. Yeah, 9 to 10 miles an hour. Could I make it back? Could I make it back? Possibly. Let's move the pedal assist back up because I'm dying here. But yeah, could you ride it? Yeah, I think you could. You could, but you're going to be going like 9 miles an hour. Yeah, I don't want 9 miles an hour, right? Kick that motor back on there. I'm so spoiled with e-bikes now. It'd be really hard for me to just ride a bike by itself as a regular bike now. Yeah. Now, granted, this is heavier than your typical non-electric bike, but even so, I don't think I could even ride a regular non-electric bike anymore. Can't do it. Cannot do it. I was talking to a friend at church. We were talking about RAGBRAI. You guys know about RAGBRAI? Yeah. Yeah, the Register's annual Great Ride Across Iowa. What does that stand for? RAGBRAI? Something like that. It's the newspaper, the Register out there. They started this whole thing. I don't know, when was it, in the 70s or something? I don't know. And every year since, they've been riding across the state of Iowa. And she had done it. She said she had done it when she was younger and rode it across the state. She says it was tough. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. And people think Iowa's flat. It's not flat. There's hills and everything. She goes, you're done with one hill, the next hill comes up. I told her, I says, I would never be able to do it. And even with an e-bike, you'd have to charge that e-bike you know, it's going to take you several batteries per day. Who's going to charge that for you? They do say that they have charging stations available that you can put your bike battery to charge it. But man, I would have to literally bring several batteries with me. I would never make it on just one battery. Some people do, but I know I can't. First off, I'm heavier, right? I throttle a certain amount. I throttle when I'm too tired to keep going. It's just gonna eat batteries, yeah. So to carry those big batteries, you need a bike that can handle the big batteries, right? Hey, here's some e-bikes here. Yeah, so that looked like a rad cargo bike, the orange one. I don't know what the lady had. The dad had a cargo bike with a kid in the back of it. I think I've seen them before. I'm not sure. Anyway, so yeah, I can't do RAGBRAI, but I would always like to have tried. You know, if I had the ability to do it, I would try it, but I don't have the ability. I'm too old now, I can't do it. Hey, there's older people who could do it, but you know, I got bad knees, bad hips, and everything going on. Can't do it. All right, I think I'm gonna call it a night. Yeah, it's getting darker. Not quite yet, you know. Still got sun. I can see it. So we're facing the sun now. So here's what the stats show: 42% 3 bars. Is it truly that? 23.0 miles. We said what, 12.4. Okay. I think the meter is off on this. I do. I think the thing is off. I think the battery is still good. I'll do a full test of range on this battery one day. I just can't do it tonight. It's just getting late. It's getting a little chilly now as well, so I'll call it a night. Anyways, if you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. More rides to come. I'll talk to you guys next time.